The story on how we formed is kind of interesting because I was starting a job in Charlotte and JC was already working for Diedrich Architects. JC called up Mark Diedrich and said that that I would only come work at Diedrich if Mark came, and then he called me to say that Mark would only join the firm if I joined. So basically he kind of played the two of us off of each other, and Mark and I started on the same day in 1995.
I met Howard right before my freshman year in college. We attended an out-of-state conference for students in architecture. We got to know each other because we were two of the few Asians that were attending this out-of-state students conference. He grew up in Blacksburg, Virginia. I grew up in Lexington, Kentucky. And the common thing that we shared was that both of our fathers were professors in college.
I came down here and coincidentally met Howard and JC in graduate school. JC and I started at the same time working for Diedrich Architects.
Well, we had all been working together for probably 5 or 6 years. At that point, Diedrich had merged with Niles Bolton, and one of the things that we really wanted to try to do as a company was to kind of have the ability and the flexibility to provide the kind of service and the real personal attention to club clients everywhere. And we felt like the best way to achieve that was to kind of do that on our own. So in 2002, JC, he departed and he started his own company in the spring. And then in the fall, Mark and I, we formed our own company. And so we really essentially split away from the larger company and formed two companies. But even from that time, 20 years ago, JC was doing his work in conjunction with our work, and we were working with him. So there are two separate entities sort of working together. Well, I think one of the most significant projects to me was the Landings Club on Skidaway Island. This is just south of Savannah. We were involved from the very beginning with the creation of the long-term master plan and really selling and delivering this vision and message for the community to the members. Keep in mind that the Landings is a really just a tremendous community. It's one of the largest golf course communities on the East Coast. They have over 4,000 home sites, 6 golf courses, 4 clubhouses, 28 tennis courts, a 50,000 square foot fitness facility, and just numerous other amenities out there. It's essentially a small city. So the capital plan in kind was equally large. It was a $26 million capital plan. And we've been executing various phases of it, but essentially the main portion, which was a 3-campus $26 million plan, was rolled out and completed several years ago.
Camp Creek Club, which is now called Water Sound Camp Creek. It was a national, highly recognized resort development company, the St. Joe Company, largest coastal landowner in Florida, engaged us. That project has become more than just a single clubhouse, but rather it's a whole village of buildings, including a boutique inn, a wellness center, a kids club, tennis center. It runs the gamut of multi-generational design, and so I think that's a really great example of that.
Another project I'd probably acknowledge is Ford Field and River Club, south of Savannah in Richmond Hill. Another project that's high profile, the former Ford plantation by Henry Ford. A lot of pedigree, a lot of history to that. That was another project that was a competition against some of our largest competitors. That was very fulfilling to be awarded that project.
Richland Point at Reynolds Lake Oconee. Another award winner for us. This again was a highly regarded resort development project at Reynolds Lake Oconee in Georgia. In that case, it was one of our first projects that was in a resort with golf, but it was not, we weren't doing golf. So it's a great example of different multi-generational amenities. Award-winning restaurant that we designed along with AI3, award-winning spa and wellness facility, adult pool, family pool that we worked on with Land Design, and that project turned out fabulous.
One of the things that I believe sets KDC apart from our competitors is the fact that we design from a multi-generational standpoint. We're really striving to achieve what we call design for the next generation. What that really means is that the key thesis of all this is that we want to be able to honor the foundational past of the club. A lot of clubs, they could be a centennial club, a historic club, a club that's just had this rich history. We do want to preserve that, and we want to honor that. And so that sort of gets infused into the DNA of the club, and it's just foundational, especially with a lot of golf clubs as they migrate from golf to the country clubs or to next generation clubs.
Another thing that sets us apart undoubtedly is the way that we approach and have relationships with our club clients. Evidence of that is the relationships that we build with the general managers, our engagement with the Club Management Association, and the fact that by far, most of our referrals these days are coming from someone else. They're not coming from cold calls. They're coming from one general manager, one board member to another in these clubs. I think our overall approach is an important aspect of it. Our personalities come out through our service, and all three of us are different. Everyone in our office is different, but I think that the key to all of this is that we're putting our clients first, and I believe that our clients believe that when they tell other people these are the people you should call. They're going to help you get this job done. They're going to make sure that you get it approved, that your members consider themselves stakeholders in this project, and that they support it.
We're finding that some of our club clients now are expanding their food and beverage offerings into markets, grab-and-go concepts, where you can go in the morning, grab a coffee, grab a pastry, hang out, exchange work emails, basically kind of make that your home office, all the way to dinners that are packaged for to-go options.
I think what's going to happen in the club industry in the coming years is that we're going to continue to see a relationship between people's recreation and what they want to do or want to see in a club. And so I think that that's going to be relevant in looking at younger generations of the Gen Xers, Gen Z. What is it that they want to do? What would they want to see in a club? The clubs need to respond to this in order to remain relevant, remain sustainable.
We have probably 5 to 7 projects in our office now that are centennial clubs that have been around for at least 100 years or longer. And a lot of those memberships only seek out the most prestigious design firms to work on their projects.
I never envisioned that KDC would be a 20-year-old company today, and I think that it just really, it makes my heart warm that it's been a successful adventure. In order to be successful with your company, you have to be able to know that you could lose everything. So once you sort of get over that, then you sort of set the foundation for success going forward. And really, we've been blessed. We've had a tremendous staff that has helped us over the years. We've had tremendous consultants that we've been partners with for basically from the beginning of the company. And this sort of ecosystem, along with clients who have been tremendous to work with and have given us repeat work, have sort of come all together to really help support to take KDC from where we were 20 years ago to where we are today.